Oh, hello there. Good evening. I suppose you know what the conversation is going to be like today. Um, gonna talk a little bit more about COVID. Okay, what I'm gonna focus on is the rallies for anti-mask and how and why I don't agree with them at all. There was a big one in Quebec. It's yesterday now, where thousands of people were talking about how it restricted oxygen. There's a few somewhat notable spokesmen that were anti-mask because they think it's part of government control, which is sort of true, but not for the reasons they think. And they blamed it on the far right, and they also blamed it on Donald Trump. I do remember a few, probably weeks ago, months ago, I haven't looked it up. Donald Trump did say that you can wear a mask, and he was opting not to. He's the president. He doesn't have to wear a mask. It's not going to make a difference. And when I say blame, I mean, yeah, blame. Because I think it's a farce, an absolute phony, uh, led by people who are captains of a sinking ship and they want the ship to sink. The anti mask argument is stupid. I mean, if you have trouble breathing, that is understandable. You should really invest in a lightweight oxygen mask. Although those are a bit pricey, if you have trouble breathing, you should really make the effort anyway. If you have severe asthma or any other ailment that would cause breathing difficulties. Aside from that, the cheaper solution is to wear a face shield. You can breathe perfectly fine. There is a gap between your nose and your mouth and even your eyes from the plexiglass shield that enables air to go under the shield and through so that you can breathe. You might refrain from running. I run quite often wearing a regular face mask. Yes, I run out of breath faster, and I also don't have the best stamina as it is because of psychiatric medication, but we're not going to get into that. Um, this whole anti-mask thing, it's deliberate in the attempt to make people who oppose the government and the ceaseless propaganda that it is pumped out look stupid. And it's very successful because there are a lot of stupid people out there who go, "Oh, this is uncomfortable. I don't like wearing it. I don't like wearing a mask either. But I wear one because, it's quite literally better than nothing. It does prevent people from speaking moistly to the most extent. I mean, I have made videos where I said it doesn't matter if you wear a mask or not because COVID's going to be in your beer because they put it in there to begin with because they want everyone to have COVID. That's the conspiracy theory I want to focus on. I don't want to focus on COVID numbers are exaggerated and you don't need to wear a mask. You're not going to get infected because that's a stupid conspiracy theory concocted by people who want to destroy the perception of what the government's doing wrong. Because your average person will look at that anti-mask movement and go, "These people are stupid. Look how scientific research has proven that it helps prevent people from speaking moistly." And I've already talked about how disgusting people are. They're pigs. There's no getting around it. Absolute pigs. And yes, wash your damn hands. Yes, wash your mask and your shield and wear them. It's not rocket science, people. And this is deliberately done in my opinion, by whatever warped sense the left wing is, we don't even really know exactly what the government body of the left wing is. I mean, you get distorted stories from media outlets of what it is, but I don't think that's what it is. I think that's the story for the idiots. And, this whole anti-mask thing, it has been stamped as being right-wing. It has been stamped as being pro-Donald Trump. It's been stamped all these things. And there are a lot of people out there, all they have to hear is right-wing or Donald Trump, and they instantly do not like that side of the argument. I'm saying those are not the argument. I'm saying it is very convincing propaganda. Now, people don't understand what propaganda is. I've made videos about propaganda. I know what it is. It is a deliberate set of either truths, half-truths, or lies that present a story that manipulates people into thinking something and believing it. That is effective propaganda. And propaganda doesn't always have to be positive. It can be reinforced negativity. It can be whatever it needs to be to work to get people to think what they want them to think. So if they say, if you're anti-mask, that means you're pro-Donald Trump, that means you're right-wing, that means you're Republican, or whatever, that's roping a whole pile of things that you may not necessarily be. You can be an anti-mask person and still, worship the ground Justin Trudeau walks on. You can do that. You're allowed to, change what the common theory is on what right wing is and what left wing is, because politicians do it all the time anyway. They just don't tell you. That's the difference. And although masks are not the problem, in my opinion, they're also not the solution, but they will help. And I fully think that people should wear them for the time being, and that people should be more focused on tackling the real problem. Not prop up the insignificant, stupid part of the problem and make that the focal point of the argument, because that doesn't accomplish anything. The bad people out there doing the bad things, which is deliberately giving people COVID so that they can have create a vaccine as quickly as possible because there's national prestige in hand. The Russians are trying to get a vaccine as soon as possible. The Chinese are trying to get a vaccine as soon as possible. Europe's trying to get one as soon as possible. Canada's trying to get one as soon as possible. The States are trying to get one as fast as possible. Any competent government, somewhat competent, with laboratory type capability and a very good knowledge of science is trying to get it as soon as possible. And why? Because it's worth a lot of damn money. That's why. And that is where the problem is. It's not whether you got to wear a piece of fabric in front of your face. Yes, it's uncomfortable. Yes, you got to wash it every day because you really notice if you don't. And I would rather live in an environment where I wasn't concerned about COVID because it didn't exist in the first place. I made a video about that too. And this is where people, it's that they've become the Karens, that meme out there where it's an overreacting woman. There are Karens that are men as well. There are memes about that. I'm not even going to talk about that, but that doesn't matter. That are the polar opposites of each other. They're going, masks are bad, blah, blah, blah. If you're wearing a mask, you're stupid, yada, yada, yada. As well as the Karens on the other side, the flip side, saying, if you don't wear a mask, you're a bad person, you're spreading COVID, you're the problem. Let me explain something to you. You're both a pack of idiots. You're both a pack of idiots. There's packs of idiots everywhere with stupid opinions, and they're running around rampant. I like to focus on the real problem. The real problem is not the mask. Wear it for the time being because it does help, but it's like, it's like giving aspirin to somebody who has cancer. It's not going to work. might, mask it a little bit, but, it's not really going to fix the problem now, is it? And the way they're going about trying to fix the problem is a problem in itself. I have said that, the vaccine, people should take their vaccinations. I can understand the reasons why they wouldn't want to, but, it's shitty, but there are some things in life that are not fun, and vaccinations are one of them. And if they tell you got to take it, then you got to take it. You don't have to like it. You don't have to think fondly of them. You can give them the finger. You can demand that they tell you what's in it. I'd like to know what's going to be in this vaccination. I guarantee you that isn't going to be disclosed. And the bozos who are going to be administering it probably don't know themselves. It'll probably be a select, isolated group of scientists. The less people know, the secret remains a secret. And everything else remains a conspiracy theory. Do I believe there's a lot of politics involved with COVID-19? Absolutely. I think you'd have to be living under a rock not to have noticed. But yeah, people are using it for political gain. And another thing people don't understand about leaders that take specific positions in rallies in particular is that you have no idea that they actually support your cause or not. Let's say you go to an anti-mask rally. How do you know that the spokespeople are actually really anti-mask? They may say they are, they may give a speech about why they are, but if it's a dumbed-down, idiotic, easy-to-debunk story, then they're the captain of a ship that was deliberately sunk. And I believe that the government is trying to shift the opposition to everyone believing what COVID is and why it's exaggerated and all these other sort of things. They're trying to shift it to a simpler, dumber topic. And evidently thousands of people are buying into it. Because, you gotta believe that there are laboratories out there that have hundreds, if not thousands, of doomsday devices and diseases and viruses and all those horrible things that they could unleash on man at any time. So, no, I'm not going to test the water on that one and find out that, yes, COVID is very real. And I have said 100% undiluted COVID probably kill anybody. More than likely would. And I believe the government is incrementally giving it to the population so that they can study and learn and create the vaccination faster. And there is pharmaceutical corporate greed is definitely an element. It's, very profitable business at this whole COVID-19, along with other horrible things in the world. So, yeah, I wouldn't, order somebody to wear a mask if I saw them not doing it. That's not my job. I am responsible to wear a mask myself, and I will do so in the places I'm supposed to be doing it in. Again, I'd rather I was in a position where it wasn't necessary, but in this day and age, it is. And it is not my job to tell other people if they're doing it or not. If the government decides that they're going to lay down a hefty fine for people who don't wear it, they disobeyed the rules, those are the rules, then they get fined. That's their problem. That isn't going to happen to me because I'm going to wear a mask. I don't want to be fined. And it's not worth it to prove a point. And I'm not so oxygen deprived that it's really, I'm going to faint, fall flat on the ground because I'm wearing a mask. It does restrict breathing because you have to work harder to breathe, and that is difficult for some people. But as I said, if you have difficulty breathing in the first place, investing in an oxygen type mask is probably a good idea anyway. And if you cannot afford one, because not only do you have breathing problems, you're also poor, then at least get a shield. Then you can breathe in that. Sure, you look like a dork buying the $20 one on Amazon, but it doesn't matter. You gotta wear one. I bought a better one than that, but that doesn't matter. So, the reason I disagree and dislike the anti-mask movement is because it makes the argument against the government and their handling of COVID-19, it disintegrates that argument by shifting it to a stupid argument. And it's not addressing the problem, and quite honestly, it makes most people look like whiny crybabies. And, I am anti, government and how it's handled this virus. I am anti how the media has handled this virus, which is a branch of the government. I'm very much against all of that. But am I going to focus my energy into an anti-mask movement when that is not addressing the problem? No. Because that's something a stupid person would do. Somebody who thinks they're being smart but is actually an idiot. And on that note, I'm going to have myself a drink if you don't mind. So, cheers. Good night, and fuck off.